from Ninth Circle, and you're watching the next edition of Ninth Circle Revealed. Today we'll be talking about my guitars, a rig, and kind of what I use on stage, so that way you guys get sort of a feel of, you know, what I'm doing on stage and in the studio, and how do I get that really funky sound. So let's go ahead and take a look at this rig here. It's an Ampeg cabinet. It's 4x10. It's got a horn in there. I got my Ampeg VR2 rig, which serves me just right every night on stage. I got my EQ set up for me, and got my bass almost all the way up. Got my treble going, so I get that clinky sound. I also have a Furman power amp, or a power conditioner, which is a M8L6, and it saved me a few times on stage. And to get my sound, my form, the Brown sound, I call it the F sound. I just use two pedals. I use a stereo chorus from DoD. That's my long-term sound. I use that every night. And then I got a Boss flanger that I throw in every once in a while, so that kind of fills out my sound, gives me a little differentiation in my sound. And my goal sometimes is to sound a lot different than Dennis. You know, a few weeks back we were on the road, and one of our fans came up stage and backstage and was talking about my stuff, and he said, "What the hell is a power conditioner?" And I said, "It's something I use to dry my hair backstage." It's not actually that. What it is, I got a good friend that works for Furman Christos, and he recommended power conditioner. What it generally is lack of a better term, it's just a big power strip. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what you're looking at, actually my very first bass that I got when I was 15 years old. I cut my neighbor's lawn every other week for 12 bucks, saved those dollars up. As soon as I had about 128 bucks, I went down to Sears, ordered this guitar right out of the catalog, and 9 months later in delivery, this thing showed up, and well, more like 2 weeks. And you can tell it's loud. It's a really light body. It's half scale, and I liked it because it looked like Cliff Burton's bass. Man, it's not a high quality guitar, and it used to have a lot of fret buzz up at the first, second frets. So if you look really closely, I actually stuck a bunch of toothpicks on there. So I did my own Ever Van Halen modifications to this thing when I got it. And I guess, you know, when you're 15, you get a guitar and you're really jazzed about playing. I wanted to know a lot about my instruments, so I would suggest this is a huge no-no. But for aspiring musicians, what I would not recommend is getting a brand new guitar and taking it completely apart. Took the neck off, took the pickups out, took out the bridge, and I just wanted to see how this thing was put together. And I put it back, and I've used it ever since, before I retired it, and that's my black Cliff Burton bass. Well, this is my Black Beast, man. This is my Metal Phil, as I call it. It's kind of inspired by Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynott, his guitar, so instead of having a plain mirrored pickguard on it, it's got this diamond plate pickguard, and sort of my homage to one of my bass heroes, Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy. This is an early 90s model. It's a Squier, made in Korea. I like this bass a lot. You actually, on the first album, was entirely recorded with this bass. It's got a really rich, full-bodied sound. One of the unique attributes of this guitar, it doesn't have a cutaway or slant here. It's a flat slab, so it's a different body type for Fender, and it's just got a really nice, rich, big, rich sound. Another thing to note about this guitar, it was actually originally owned by the critically acclaimed bass guitarist of One Row Below. I had a cream-colored Fender Squier guitar, and he had this one, and it was had a white pickguard originally, and for some reason I thought the black was more metal, And so we went ahead and traded even fair and square up for this bass. So I think I got the better end of that deal.